I'm Kat.
I'm Hayley.
And this is Night Classy, the podcast where the podcast where tipsy teachers teach fascinating lessons. Oops, that muscle memory. What are we fucking drinking?
Believe it or not, it's Photo Box.
I feel bad. It's our first October episode. And we didn't do anything special. But it's Monday.
It's Monday. We've been at school. We've been with children.
And we pretty much came straight here from work. So there was no opportunity.
Yep. I went home, changed right into this new t-shirt that I got from Goodwill and did not wash yet.
You're disgusting. What the fuck?
Well, it still had its tag on from TJ Maxx. So you decide if it's dirty or not. Yeah.
It's a Nickelodeon.
It is.
I like it. It has the Rugrats on it. Anybody else? Hey Arnold.
Like the 90s.
Yeah, it was all the
characters.
90s cartoons.
We Are Monsters.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What's that's an original one.
Guys.
That was the one where SpongeBob's writer started out on that show. I'm blanking on the name.
Oh, yeah, I am too. I don't know it at all.
But it's cute.
Thanks.
I like it.
It might be dirty.
You should probably have washed it, but it's okay.
Well, things happened. I did so much laundry yesterday and then chose to wear this because I was like, it's cute and new.
And she's not even, you can't even see it. She has her sweatshirt on over it.
I got cold.
I'm wearing a shirt that I got probably 6 years ago, and it's held up. I still like it.
Good job.
Thank you.
Is it a tarot card or is it just a spooky guy?
It's the tarot card of death. So
speaking of tarot cards, we did a tarot card reading.
No, we
for
didn't.
Someone pulled tarot cards for us during our Night Classy cocktail hour. Yes, Nathan, thank you. I had some drinks.
Yeah, so we had our Patreon cocktail hour. It was really fun. It was supposed to be an hour, but we were on there for almost 3 hours because we were all having so much fun. And then I woke up the next morning and I was like, I had too many drinks last night and I'm a little embarrassed about my behavior on that cocktail hour.
It's okay. Everyone who is on will be like, we got in before Night Classy was cool. We saw them possibly at their worst.
Definitely at our worst. We had a cocktail that we made for the Patreon. It was called Witch's Brew. And it was delicious and it went down very easy.
Too easy. And the second one that I got, you made my first drink and then I didn't even know the recipe. And so I just poured a bunch of shit in there and I didn't realize that the apple thing and your Kraken rum, I knew the rum was alcoholic, but I didn't know the apple flavored stuff was alcoholic.
You didn't realize that a bottle of brandy was alcoholic?
I'm not familiar with brandy.
But it's in an alcohol bottle. It's in a glass bottle.
I just
and it
thought
looks like
it was
whiskey.
some flavoring.
Hayley.
Don't shame me.
I'm shaming you.
This is like when I had 3 shots of 151 and I was a freshman in college and I was just that's a lie. I was a freshman into my 21st year. But ignorance is not bliss.
I can't believe. So you just I noticed that the bottle of brandy was low. It was it wasn't a big bottle. It was pretty. It was one of those little $5 bottles, but it was half gone. And the recipe called for a tablespoon of it.
Yeah. I just mixed until I thought that it tasted good.
She just loves apple brandy. I come home from work tomorrow and you're drinking it out of a paper bag.
Ew, no, I don't want to be that person.
You're on our front stoop with a bottle of brandy.
Yelling at anyone who walks by.
We do have a porch swing. There you go.
We do. Well, if I get fired because of everything I said in the last 4.5 minutes, then that's my plan.
This is all a joke.
None of this happened. But if it did, we had a lot of fun with all you patrons who joined us for our cocktail hour.
It was really fun. Thank you so much to everyone who showed up. We had a blast. I hope that you guys had a blast too and didn't feel like our drunk selves were holding you hostage on Zoom. And we did it on Zoom this time, so we were all able to actually talk and hang out and see each other. It was really, really fun. So join us for the next one. It will be on Friday, October 29th. And that is the Friday before Halloween. So it's going to be a costume party. I know what I'm going to be, and it's really fucking cool. I need to make it.
Ooh, I want to know, but it's a surprise.
It's a surprise. I'm so excited. You're going to shit your pants.
Oh my God, I hope I do. Speaking of that almost happened to me when I went to IKEA.
What?
Yes.
Have you drank coffee before?
I was just hungover.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, I did drink coffee before. Yeah, on the way there. And I got in there. I was like, there's so much stuff. And then I ran to the restroom.
Ooh, yeah.
So
at least you could find it. I wouldn't know where the restroom is in IKEA.
It was very I was like grasping the cart, like waddling almost, like waddle sprinting, because it was a close call.
That is a close call. Coffee plus hangover.
Coffee plus hangover plus excitement of being in a retail space. It's a bad combo.
Imagine if you had to use one of the like fake setups they had.
Oh my God. Like, is that in Bridesmaids where they use a Home Depot toilet?
No, that's not in Bridesmaids. In Bridesmaids, she's in the street. Yeah.
What's the movie where they have to shit in a Home Depot toilet? Maybe
I
made that up.
Maybe Jackass?
Oh, Jackass did it.
They would do
that. Must be what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Throwback to 7th grade when I watched that at Kyler Sombrano's house. Shout out.
Wow. Shouts out.
What's up? And I went to my horseback riding lesson extremely hungover. So that was also a good time.
Horse girl. Oh my God. What if you threw up on the horse and got kicked out your first lesson?
That would be so awful. I was like really nervous because it was my first one, and going to a new barn where you don't know anybody. And then people like understandably are very particular about like their horses and like how you do things. So it's always like scary because you feel like you're getting everything you learned how to do is getting picked apart. Like nothing against like my instructor. That's just how it always is, because everyone has a way they do things, and that's necessary because horses are very finicky animals. So if you switch something up, they care and it hurts them. So just understandably, but like I was very, very nervous and very, very hungover, and I feel like I was just like trying to keep it together. But it was a great experience, and I'm going back next Saturday, and I am officially back to being a full-time horse girl.
Full-time, full-on. Not raw. She does wear a saddle, right? You wear a saddle?
I do not wear a saddle.
You don't?
The horse wears a saddle.
The horse. You sit on a saddle.
Yeah.
I'm not a horse girl. I don't know these things. I've never even seen a horse, so
oh my God.
I don't really know what we're talking about here.
I wear a saddle. That's like the episode of My Strange Addiction where she's addicted to pony play.
I love that episode.
So good.
It's like looking into your future.
It's like looking into my past when I pretended to be a horse from the age like 5 to 10.
From the age 5 to 22. You're like, new city, new me.
Now I ride the horse instead of being the horse.
Yeah. I don't know which is better, though.
Definitely riding the horse.
I'd rather be a horse.
Like to think you'd rather be the horse.
Yeah. Not pay bills, not work.
I guess that's true.
But
you have to exercise because people sit on you.
Dude, I wish someone would force me to exercise. I've said this before. I know it makes me feel good. I like how it makes me feel. Cannot force myself to do it often enough.
Yeah, I just hate it. I don't. Yeah. You like how it makes you feel?
When I'm done. Yeah, I'm like, I did that. I feel good. My brain is happy. Will I be back tomorrow? Probably not. Will I be back in 3 months when I feel shitty again? Probably.
Yeah. I just like doing things that I like doing in the moment and also feel good after.
Yeah, that's very on brand for you.
I don't get it. And then you're sweaty afterward and you have to take a shower.
I love showering.
I like showering too, but not when I have to.
You don't like to be forced to do anything.
Yeah, maybe that's the problem.
I think you're really just a horse, and this is a horse's past life is in you. You're a free spirit.
I am a free spirit.
Cat the Stallion.
Just visualize. Yeah. Spirit of the, what is Spirit? The movie called Spirit of the something.
Oh, I thought it was just Spirit.
It is. Spirit of the... Oh, God, what the fuck? Hold on. I have to look this up.
Do, 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 do.
Stallion of the Cimarron.
So you were close. They both started with an
I
S.
kept wanting to say Spirit of the Iditarod, and I was like, no, that's dogs.
Speaking of looking things up, the cartoon on your shirt was Rocco's Modern Life.
Oh, thank you. I'm glad that you remembered.
I looked that up as well.
Okay.
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
We need like a periodic thing that's like, this is the lookup minute.
I know.
Yeah, we should. It comes up so often. Like when there's a huge hole in our research, Kat asked me a question, and I'm like, why would you fucking ask me that?
We need an unpaid intern who sits next to us and facts checks /
Facts checks.
Facts checks, corrects our grammar.
Also, we don't believe in unpaid interns, but we will hire them.
If anyone wants to,
Unpaid.
I feel like if we frame it as volunteer. it's
Volunteer if you're in high school and you need some community service hours. And you have a cool
this is
mom.
community service.
This is we're teachers. That counts.
If we start donating a portion of our Patreon money, does it count as a nonprofit?
Yes.
And
Yeah,
then
I
this
think
is
it
community
does.
service.
Well, I think we just cracked the code.
Wow.
It's already a not for profit in a lot of ways.
We're actually against profit here. Alec just starts crying. He's like, it's been 1.5 years.
More than that, it's almost 2 now, right?
I mean, it just passed 1.5 years.
Okay.
So no.
No.
But kinda.
Never mind. Okay, well, at least that makes me
Rounding
feel good.
up, yeah.
We're almost to our 100th episode, kind of, in a way.
Yeah.
We have to
just
do
like-
something fucking crazy. Let's
like
start planning
what?
now.
We should dress like 100-year-olds and talk like 100-year-olds for the whole episode and do episodes on people that live to be 100.
That's a bad idea, and I'm not going to do it.
In what way is that a bad idea?
I don't want to dress like a 100-year-old or talk like a 100-year-old. Or do an episode
you're
about
probably
a 100-year-old.
only going to live to like 58.
My plan
at
has
that.
always been not to live I don't know. I just like,
Oh my God.
not that I want to die. I just like, in my mind, I can't imagine myself as being old. I think that's what it is. Like, I don't think I'm going to die or want to die or anything, but like, it's just hard for me to imagine myself being old.
It
I don't
is.
know.
It is.
Probably a lot of people feel that way.
That's what I was going to say about exercise. People don't exercise just to exercise. They exercise so that they aren't that person who's like 50 and in the hospital.
That's true.
Yeah.
But I just hate it.
Still not convincing enough.
Yeah. And I'm now exercising once a week by riding horses.
There you go. That's
go.
perfect. And I mean, I don't know about you, but I'm on my feet running around, like doing physical activity all day.
Yeah, literally all day. I'm on my feet
Yeah.
from 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. So that counts. I'm very active, you guys.
Exercise
Cardio.
service, community service.
All the services.
We keep Botobox in business.
That's true. They deserve to write us a thank you card.
They deserve it. Okay. Well,
Are we
anything
ready?
else? Yeah, let's get into it.
I'm a piece of shit and still haven't bought batteries for the breathalyzer.
Well, I am too. So we're 2 peas and a piece of shit. 2 corn kernels and a piece of shit.
Precisely.
If you're asking for visuals, then we're
Sorry.
here for it.
You're welcome. Anyway, with that being said, hold on. I need to take a sip of water because this is a long one.
What is a long one?
My lesson, not the piece of shit. Or the corn kernel.
It could have been so many things. A long intro,
No. A long topic, but a good topic.
long topic instead of hot topic. It's just outrageously long.
It's
things.
not good or interesting. It's just long. Just kidding. It's good and interesting. All right. So I'm going first because Hayley went first last time, and we are pieces of shit that didn't buy batteries for the breathalyzer.
We are corn
kernels and shit.
Get the, what is it, analogy, simile, metaphor.
All of the above.
Get the saying right.
That's right. Okay. According to Wikipedia, ectoplasm is the, quote, non-granulated outer part of the cell's cytoplasm. Basically, it transports things within the cell. That is not the kind of ectoplasm we are talking about today.
Ghosty ectoplasm.
Ghosty ectoplasm.
Hell yeah.
It's a Halloween episode. Welcome to October. Okay. The word ectoplasm is a mashup between ecto, meaning outside, and plasma, meaning something formed or molded. It was originally known as soul substance in the paranormal world, and it is a substance that a physical medium can excrete from their body and spirits can manipulate in order to communicate.
That's like what Catholic... Okay, hold on. That's like what Catholic priests tell like little boys, like when they're like... soul substance, like if they're like God. That's how they convince them to do
not
awful
to
things.
Masturbate. What are you trying to say?
You know what? Never mind. Scratch it. Just scratch it. I'm sorry. I was trying to make a joke about the abuse in the Catholic Church.
Oh, what a funny joke.
Yeah, you're right. It's not funny. I'm sorry.
My God. We're off to a great start.
Well, it's not funny when Kat makes you explain it.
I was confused, genuinely.
What do you mean Catholic priests and little boys? Haley, spell it out.
Oh my God.
That's it. They're like, it's soul substance. This is
good. Not a
this
good
is
joke.
Good.
Stop. You're already derailing this into where we don't want to be.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. It's not funny when I chime in.
Shut up. Okay. Seances that involved this substance really took off during the spiritual movement in the Victorian era and were really common by the end of the 19th century. At first, ectoplasm was an invisible force. So when these mediums were doing like table tilting or levitating objects or having people in the seance like feel a touch, that was the ectoplasm, but you couldn't see it. Eventually, you could see it. They started excreting these physical blobs of stuff that you could see, touch, and feel.
That's disgusting.
It just gets even more disgusting.
It evolved.
It did. The physical medium usually had to enter a trance-like state in order to produce ectoplasm. The ectoplasm comes out of their orifices as kind of like a gauze-like substance, and then it comes out of their eyes, their nose, their throat, sometimes their vagina, and the spirits use this to drape over themselves so that you can like see them. Like this, you can't see the spirit, and then the ectoplasm kind of goes over them so you can see the form of their body.
Yes.
And then that way they can interact with the physical world.
Nice.
There are all different kinds of accounts of what ectoplasm looks like and what it is because it varied a lot between mediums. Everyone kind of had their own technique. Some say it starts out clear and then becomes more opaque as the psychic energy grows stronger. Mediums typically claim that ectoplasm needs dark conditions and that light can like make it shrink away or even like physically hurt the ectoplasm and the medium because the ectoplasm is an extension of their body. A lot of times these seances were done in like really, really dim red light, so you could just kind of barely see it. Physical researcher Gustav Gelly said the ectoplasm is, quote, very variable in appearance, sometimes being vaporous, sometimes a plastic paste, sometimes a bundle of fine threads or a membrane with swellings or fringes, or a fine fabric like tissue. So it could really look like anything.
Yeah, whatever you want it to be, it's going to be, and you can call it soul substance. Soul substance. That's all I'm going to call it now. It's not ectoplasm. It's soul substance.
Soul substance sounds better. Ectoplasm, to me, I thought ectoplasm was like goo that dripped from the walls. I think that might have been what it is in Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
And so this was like, I was like trying to find instances where stuff dripped from the walls and I couldn't find anything. It was like very just coming from the medium. Yeah.
There's something on my floor. So I moved my bedroom around last week, and there's this stuff on the floor that was on Tommy's side of the bed, and he doesn't like have drinks or anything. Like I'll have coffee in bed and stuff like that, but on his side of the bed, where it was anyway, under his nightstand area, was this like thick brown, like sticky,
it's for sure
substance.
Cat puke, right?
Oh, really? Was it?
Probably. That sounds like cat puke.
Puke? Oh, I thought you said pee. I was like, it didn't smell.
No, cat puke.
Oh, maybe it was puke. It was like clear, so maybe it's just their saliva.
Yeah, they throw up on. They love hanging out in our bedroom, so they're always puking in our room in the middle of the night, and that's what it looks like.
Well, okay. Well, yeah, okay. It was dried. Like, it had been there. It was under the bed, so probably. But it got on this toy, and I went to throw the toy away, and then Safety got it. He licked it and immediately threw up.
Well, there you go.
So I was like, it's soul substance.
Yeah, it could be, but probably cat puke.
Oh, also, I have this little like thing, one of these mic things that goes over, but it's very small, and it like just rolled across my room yesterday.
Itself?
Yeah, the fan was on, but that seems like kind of a stretch for it to just pick up with the wind from the fan.
That's
so
interesting.
Spooky things. Anyway.
Spooky. The writer of Sherlock Holmes, Arthur Conan Doyle, was really into spiritualism, and he described ectoplasm as, quote, a viscous gelatinous substance. So, it can take many forms. It looks like all different things. A lot of times it'll be in like the shape of a hand or a face, sometimes even a complete body. And these forms can interact with the observer. They can touch you. They can sit on your lap. Sometimes they even spoke.
Ew, are you wet when it touches you? I mean, like, does it make where
I don't know.
Touches your skin? Is your skin then it becomes wet?
It probably would be most accounts say that it is damp. So it probably did feel damp.
Yeah.
But who knows? It varies so much that who can really say?
Almost as if it's never mind.
Oh, it's very real. We'll get into it. After a seance, the ectoplasm retracts back into the psychic's body. So ever since this shit started, people are like, what the fuck is happening? And they're trying to explain what the hell this phenomenon
That's
is.
like the beginning of human existence.
Right.
Everyone's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, just what and the fuck.
This is the subtitle of that.
Mm-hmm. So because spiritualism was such a popular thing pretty suddenly, like in the Victorian era, it just like showed up and became hugely popular. There were whole research facilities that would study this and people who would study this, and they're called psychical researchers. They hypothesized that ectoplasm was a fluid within the human body that exists as a, quote, psychic force, and it can be released to interact with the physical world. Other people believed other things. So some believed that it was of the spiritual world, not of the psychic's body. Others thought it maybe was part of the fourth dimension. And many more thought it was just a stage act.
No, certainly not.
No.
I don't buy that.
No. Any of the other ones make sense.
Well, they make more sense than it being fake.
Right. It's not fake. Whatever it was a sight to behold. In 1911, a medium was said to have, quote, given birth to a piece of ectoplasm in a salon in Paris.
Well, I think that's the wrong verbiage.
I mean, wait till you hear the description because it sounds like the correct verbiage.
Birth?
Yes.
Okay.
It looked like an animated ribbon, and it slid out of her vagina and then slithered around her body and into her mouth.
Ew, it was a fucking tapeworm.
Probably. That sounds like what it was. Gross.
She excreted a tapeworm. She didn't
Out of her
birth ectoplasm. Yeah. What do you do out of your... What's the verb for that?
What?
When something goes out of your vagina.
Birthing it.
I guess. When I think of birth, I think of like
Pushing.
birthing a human. Yeah, like contractions, full on.
Maybe she was doing that.
Make a verb for it right now. A non-human
obviously.
coming out.
Smooping.
Smooping?
I don't know.
Quoofing. Like, not quite a queef, but
close.
Close.
Yeah. It's like when a blood clot like comes out.
It makes the sound too. Quoof.
Man, this is a
This
fun
is
episode.
vivid. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too. Women were usually the ones to incorporate ectoplasm into their seances. One of the most famous women to do so was spiritualist and medium Helen Duncan. Helen was born in Scotland in 1897, and from childhood she demonstrated psychic abilities. She would often frighten her classmates with these prophecies that would become true. Her ability to communicate with the dead, as well as her allegedly really bad temper, gave her the nickname Hellish Nell. In 1926, Helen began hosting seances and became wildly successful. Like, she is one of the most famous mediums of this time. She was also known as like the last witch because she was the last person to be tried under like a British Witchcraft Act. She's very, very famous. And during her seances, her two spirit guides, Albert Stewart and Peggy, would make appearances. Sometimes, at least I know that Peggy would make full physical appearances made of like ectoplasm.
Dang. Peggy is such a Midwestern, like I didn't think Peggy's even existed till the 70s.
Yeah, it is a very 70s name. I
Yeah.
just think of like King of the Hill when I think of Peggy.
Never watched it, so,
It's so
I'm going to
good.
smile and wave.
Yeah, it is a very 70s name. Apparently it's an old name. Is it short for something?
Pegatha.
Pegasus.
Pegonomy. Pegathy.
That sounds right, Pegathy. Albert was a pattern maker from Dundee who died in Austria, and Peggy was a young girl known to swing from banisters. The spirit guides would speak through Helen, each in their own voice. And things like this were pretty typical at with mediums at this time. Like, they'd have spirit guides, the spirit guides would talk, and that's not what made her seances so special. What was so special is that she materialized full body apparitions of spirits using ectoplasm. And we can look at a photo here. Look at the first one. So that's Peggy. She looks very real.
Oh, so she's okay. She does not look real. Let the record show she does not look real. It's a face of what seems to be a doll or a very doll-like human being, shrouded in a white linen, and there's this tubular section that's attaching to someone's eyes.
Yeah, that's Helen.
Helen, who's blindfolded, and also there's something attaching her two hands, and whoever's next to her on either side is holding her hands.
Yeah, I think her hands are taped down. That was something they would do to mediums to like prove that they're not, doing shit themselves.
Okay.
But Peggy is like kind of floating next to her. And this is another picture, like a really famous picture of Helen's ectoplasm. It's just kind of a close up. And it kind of looks like a silk scarf that's kind of blurry.
Yeah, it looks like it's wrapped around kind of like a bone almost. Wait, what? What is that even a picture of?
Yeah.
Ectoplasm.
But is that like in a jar floating
Like
or
what?
something?
I think
What is
that
the context?
during the seance, I think that it was just like in a dark room and they kind of like lit up just the ectoplasm and took a photo. It's a really famous picture. Like when you read scholarly articles about this, like on JSTOR, that picture will be on them.
They're claiming that this picture was taken in the Victorian era?
Yes.
Right.
I think it actually was.
Look at that picture, Kat.
Yeah.
It's a color picture.
Yeah, maybe it's not. I was under the impression that was a picture of her ectoplasm because it was on all the articles that was
If
talking
so,
about
it's
her.
been colorized, but
Yeah, maybe it was. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we need to cut that out, but
look it up.
look it up. Fact checker. Unpaid intern. We also have a lot of other photographs of ectoplasm from a 1913 seance with Eva Carrier. And I have some of her pictures here. That's her. And this is the ectoplasm.
Whoop.
We can see it kind of coming out of her mouth. And her ectoplasm kind of looks like rags. And look at this one. This one is,
That's ectoplasm?
Yeah.
I thought that was part of her dress.
No, that's ectoplasm
What?
like coming out of her like dress.
It looks
and
like
then
pizza dough, like covering her shirt.
It does. It's kind of like shredded rags. And then there's one where they're coming out of her mouth. And then like if you look at this one, there's like a whole face coming out of her neck.
This is not at all what I pictured. When you said gauze, I thought like maybe it came out in like a thin layering, but no, it literally looks like gauze in these pictures.
Yeah, it is gauze. Yeah. If you hadn't figured that out by now.
You buy it from Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, whatever you got. You can buy it. Ectoplasm, also known as gauze.
And you can, like in this one, it looks like she has like a mask.
Yeah,
and it's kind of covered in gauze. And then this one is really wild. It's like multiple masks stacked on top of each other, covered in gauze.
Yeah, I can't even tell that that's what it is.
Yeah. So that's kind of what it looked like. And it's really cool that we have all these photos. The rise of spiritualism happened at the same time as the rise of photography. So we are able to get all these really cool photos because people were always trying to prove that the spiritual realm is real. And they were doing that with these photos. Eva Carrier is an interesting woman because her shows were basically pornography. She would allow audience members to prod her vagina with their fingers to ensure that there was like no like ectoplasm up there. Like she wasn't hiding anything up her vagina for the show.
Okay. Weird. Mm-hmm. Very weird.
And
I don't know what to say. I feel like there's a joke that needs to happen, but it's not coming to me.
That's okay. At the end of the seance, she would kind of do it again. She would strip fully nude to show the audience members that, you know, she wasn't hiding anything under her clothes. And apparently she'd also undergo another gynecological exam to prove that she hadn't like shoved any ectoplasm back up her.
They're like, look, after we all fingered her, there's ectoplasm in here.
It's real.
It's real. Checks out.
And this was not it. Apparently, she would also run around the seance room nude and engage in sexual activities with audience members. So it kind of became like a full-on like live porn show.
Is the original sex cells.
Definitely. That's exactly what it was. It got people to show up to her show under the guise that they were doing some seance when in reality it was like a peep show.
It got the people going.
And, you know, a lot of people in the audience probably knew that it wasn't real. But if they admitted that she was a fraud, then they wouldn't have like an excuse to keep going to her shows and researching her, quote unquote.
She's a genius is what you're saying.
She's a smart businesswoman. In my opinion. She is. And this was, I think, what was happening, not just with her. I think a lot of psychic mediums were kind of doing this. And even if it wasn't like overtly sexual, I think the idea of ectoplasm, and this is my own commentary, but I think it kind of plays into this idea that the woman's body is like mysterious at this time. And who knows, like if there's like a psychic substance that's coming out of it. So I think even if it wasn't like overtly erotic, it kind of had those undertones since mostly women were the ones doing this. And it's a very sexually repressed time period.
Yeah.
Let's see, where was I? So people analyzed her ectoplasm and it turned out to be chewed paper and the faces were magazine cutouts. Like many of them would use magazine cutouts and kind of like put them around like
contoured like masks.
Yeah, exactly. It was kind of like paper mache.
Yeah. I'm going to do that with my preschoolers. All right, bitches, we're making ectoplasm.
That would be fun and gross. In another medium, Kathleen Gallagher's seances, ectoplasm pooled at her feet, allegedly coming from her vagina. And I have a picture of her ectoplasm, this one right here. It just kind of looks like there's a bunch of rags sitting on her feet.
Yeah. That's exactly what it looks like.
Yeah.
If you would have shown me this picture out of context, I don't know what I would have thought, but it wouldn't have been ectoplasm. Her hands are tied though, so I thought maybe it's a hostage situation.
Yeah. It's a very unsettling picture. Like
it is.
The picture frame behind her is crooked and she's tied to a chair and like is just staring blankly off into space.
What is next to her?
I think it's like a foghorn. I don't know.
mysterious object next to her.
Yeah, it's a very weird photo. We'll put it on Instagram.
She has on like a pilgrim-esque collar.
Yeah,
as well.
she does, and a black
Doesn't
dress.
really seem like of the times. Well, when was it?
Like early 1800s, mid 1800s.
Oh,
like
okay. Never mind.
I'm not sure.
Can I do a quick update on that picture? So this is what you showed is a picture of something that's in a museum.
Oh,
so this is ectoplasm from a seance that Duncan did in 1941.
Oh, I see. So it is her ectoplasm, but it's a modern photograph.
Correct.
Okay, that makes more sense. I was like, I swear. Okay, cool. Thank you for looking that up.
And that is located at the University of Cambridge. So this isn't like quack stuff. This is actually documented.
Oh, yeah,
Thank you
I know.
for that.
Oh, I was letting the listeners know that where I looked it up is a reputable source.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean, this stuff happened. Obviously, it wasn't real ghost material, but like this crazy shit really happened. Which
I know.
Is
I was
wild.
citing my sources, guys.
Thank you. Like many other famous psychics, Kathleen, the one with the ectoplasm at her feet, was thoroughly investigated for fraud. She held seances in her home, and she was assisted by family members performing tricks like levitating tables and producing ectoplasm. According to psychical researcher Jason Crawford, Kathleen levitated tables using, quote, psychic rods of invisible ectoplasm that would prop up the table.
Psychic rods of invisible ectoplasm.
Yes, we're making many assumptions. And Crawford spent 6 years investigating Kathleen in her home. He took many pictures of her ectoplasm, describing it as, quote, plasma. He spent a lot of time with her, and in his mind, at least publicly, like she was the real deal. He believed in what she was selling. But Crawford's research has been widely criticized for being unscientific. And we have on record that Crawford himself like told at least one person that he knows it's fake, but like he was still like saying it was real, probably to sell papers or books.
Yeah, it's way cooler.
Way cooler. And also he seemed to have a sexual fascination with Kathleen and an obsession with her underwear. So that's probably another reason why he stuck around so long, and makes sense why he spent years taking photos of ectoplasm that, according to him, came from her vagina. So
he's a freak.
He is a freak. And he wasn't just obsessed with Kathleen's underwear. It was like he was obsessed with underwear in general. Crawford died by suicide, but not before spending all of his family's money on woolen underwear for all of them. That was, according to him, enough to last many years. So like the legacy he wanted to leave for his family was that they'd all have nice underwear.
He just wants them to have what's important in his mind.
Yeah, I think it was a nice gesture, but
what? Underwear?
Also,
how itchy.
Terrible. That sounds awful.
That sounds like Infection City.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeast infection, UTI,
all
you
of
name
them.
It. All
yeah,
the above.
you can never escape it. And you're never going to like... You're set for life. You have this underwear. You have to wear it.
You have to. It was expensive.
Your dead father, family member, whoever, however he related, like, you have to wear it.
Yeah, you can't go to college because your dad spent that money on underwear. So you better fucking wear that underwear.
You can't go to college. You know what you can't do? Wear your fucking wool underwear and shut up about it.
It's expensive.
You look bougie. Can they see it? No. But you know you can feel it. Mm-hmm. You know it's there. All you have to do is get someone to take pictures of your ectoplasm.
Oh, God.
And they'll know it's there.
After Crawford's death, another researcher, Edmund Edward Fournier de Alba, picked up where he left off. That name just kept going. I wasn't sure exactly when it was going to end.
I didn't know either. I don't think anyone did. That was a fun little roller coaster.
It was. He came to the opposite conclusion as Crawford, that Kathleen could not levitate tables or produce ectoplasm, and she was a big old fraud.
What?
I know, we're all shocked. He caught her lifting the table with her foot and discovered that her quote-unquote ectoplasm was really just muslin. It turns out most ectoplasm is just muslin, which is like a thin fabric.
Mm-hmm.
Famous paranormal investigator Harry Price began investigating our friend Helen Duncan. So she was the one, we saw a picture of her with the big like apparition ectoplasm next to her in 1929 after he received a sample of her ectoplasm. He had heard of her seances held in almost fully lit rooms, which was not normal. Usually the rooms were pretty dark, where spirits fully materialized and could even dance, sing, and walk around the space and joke with attendees. So he was like, that's crazy. And he did not believe that. He was like, that sounds like a load of baloney. He tested her ectoplasm sample and found that it was egg white mixed with other chemicals, and he published the recipe in his book. The recipe goes, quote, white of a new laid egg, ferric chloride, phosphoric acid, and urine mixed with gelatin, hot margaric acid from olive oil, and now the reader knows what ghosts are made of.
We should make it.
No, we shouldn't. We'd have to mix pee and gelatin and eggs.
Without the urine.
Yeah, I don't
Everything
want
else,
to make it.
We could make it.
Everything else is just all, yeah.
We can convince Alec and Tommy that ghosts are real.
And we can make them from our bodies.
Yeah. It's the new lube.
Oh God, don't say that. It's, what did we call it? Spirit, soul juice?
substance.
Soul substance, yeah.
Soul juice is completely different. Don't even joke about that.
Soul juice is the off-brand. It's the, what the fuck is it? What do juggalos drink?
Fago.
It's the Fago. Shortly after he began this investigation, Helen held a show in London. Harry Price was not invited, but he watched in shock as people flooded into the venue to watch what he felt was an obvious fraud. About this event, he's quoted saying, quote, the cheesecloth mania has started. So he's just like, these people are so fucking dumb. And he said this because most ectoplasm was made of cheesecloth soaked in egg whites. Price was over and over again being denied entry to Helen's shows. He really wanted to watch her in action, but people knew he was skeptical and was going to like blow shit up. So they were telling him no until 1931, when Helen's husband approached him and invited him to conduct an investigation on Helen at the National Laboratory of Psychical Research.
Whoa, was Helen in on it? Was she trying to prove herself? Or
I think I think they were trying to prove it to him. I think they thought she was good enough to kind of get away with it. Spoiler alert, she wasn't.
How juicy would it be if her husband was like, this has gone way too far,
Yeah, if he
dude.
just is done.
Yeah.
Like, I can't keep doing this.
Yeah, he's like, listen, she's on Facebook every night talking about anti-vax shit, talking about ghosts, like
she's just really gone off the deep end.
Yeah, she's not the woman I married.
You gotta put a stop to this. But Price was like fucking thrilled. He's like, finally, I get to do my scientific investigation and prove to everyone that this is not real. Before putting any controls in place or doing any physical examinations, Price and his team just wanted to watch a typical seance by Helen. Just like let her do her thing and see what we can see. I have a quote from Price from his book, Leaves from a Psychic Case. And it's pretty long, but I think it's worth reading because he describes what this seance is like firsthand. It says, quote, the medium, having donned her special garments, was led into the seance room by Professor McDougall and myself and placed in a curtained recess known as the cabinet. In a few seconds, the medium was in a trance, and within a minute, the cabinet curtains parted and we beheld a medium covered from head to foot with cheesecloth. There appeared to be yards of it. Some of it was trailing on the floor. One end was poked up her nostril, a piece of issuing from her mouth. It moved, it withered, it waggled, it squirmed on the floor. It spread itself out like an apron. Then the medium closed the curtains and the spectacle was hidden from view. All these transformations and permutuations took place in a bright red light, bright enough to read small print by. Every person and object in the seance room was plainly visible. Can you imagine being there for that?
No, wait. So she was hidden for a second and then?
They have what's called psychics cabinets. And basically the psychic goes in and out of a curtained cabinet. And they can kind of like, and they're like usually bound. So it's like, oh, I'm not moving or doing anything, but like they are. They're just magicians, essentially.
Don't be suspicious.
Yeah.
Don't be suspicious.
Totally. But yeah, this is just bananagrams. We need to go back to Eureka Springs. Is that?
Yes,
because they
we
have
do. Crescent Springs.
Crescent Springs. They have. Did you see it? They have a show where they do these old-timey spiritualist seances, and you can go watch one of these.
That would be so freaking cool.
Next time we have to go.
I would love that.
I think it's called the Fox Sisters show or whatever, and they do it there.
Dang.
It'd be cool. We gotta go.
I just love that they're covered in cheesecloth.
I know.
And part of it's stuck up her nostril.
And then
She's
she just
like-
goes like in the cabinet and she's like pulling it off.
Yeah.
She's like, oh my fucking God, this is disgusting.
I have a terrible cold. My nose won't stop running. Just stick it up my nostril, please.
Yeah, just may as well just like let mucus drip down your face. It's ectoplasm.
Ew. No, it's different.
Right. Behind the curtain, spectators could hear the voices of her spirit guides, Peggy and Albert. When the curtain opened, Helen was draped in more cheesecloth, quote unquote, ectoplasm. Price was able to feel the ectoplasm with his hands. He said it was damp and almost certainly cheesecloth, and that it smelled like ripe gorgonzola.
I don't even know what gorgonzola is.
It's like a stinky cheese.
Ew.
So I think she was regurgitating from like what I have coming next. Like she was keeping it in her stomach and regurgitating it. And so it smelled like stomach acid.
Ew.
Yeah, disgusting.
Just like the ectoplasm in my room under my bed that I
Right.
was all dried up and I found.
Our cats have ectoplasm. Our house is so haunted, you guys. It's crazy. After this, Helen agreed to be taped to her chair to prevent her from pulling any more tricks during the seance. So now they're like, okay, we've seen enough. Let's try it with you taped down. She agreed, but then her spirit guide Albert came up and he was like, she actually can't perform now because her circulation's being cut off and she doesn't have enough psychic energy anymore.
Yes, I can sense it. I'm her spiritual medical advisor.
Right.
It's a no-go.
Yeah, we'll come back tomorrow. Price did not buy this. I have another quote from him talking about the seance. He said, quote, I must say I was deeply impressed. I was impressed by the brazen effrontery that prompted the Duncans to come to my laboratory in an attempt to pull over their stuff on experts. I was impressed by the amazing credulity of the spirits who had sat with the Duncans, the spiritualists who had sat with the Duncans for 6 solid months, and with the fact that they had advertised her phenomenon as genuine. So he's just like,
I love the sass.
bullshit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Clearly, to Price, Helen's seances were a hoax, but the question remained, where did the ectoplasm come from? He wanted to figure this out. And it appeared to be coming from inside her body. And I have a photo. It says in my notes that there's a photo. Hopefully I do. Yep, here we go. So it looks like it's coming out of her mouth in this photo.
Yeah.
And you can also see in this that there's a hand coming out of her mouth. Do you see that? It's really faint.
Kind of.
That's a rubber glove.
Oh.
So she was using rubber gloves, like swallowing them, and then they'd come out and look like a hand.
Oh my goodness. Wow, she's dedicated.
Yeah, she is. I mean, they really, like, magicians do the same thing. Like, Chris Angel swallows shit. Like, it's just
And then throws
a trick.
it up.
Yeah.
Ew.
Yeah. And the face of, so that's cheesecloth. There's a rubber glove. The face of Peggy is a magazine cutout. But like, you know, they wanted to find out how she was like doing it. Cause she'd go in, they'd like strip search her. She didn't have anything on her body. So like, where is it coming from? And so a search was conducted on all of her orifices. Like in her ears, her mouth, her vagina, nothing was found. So it was concluded that she was hiding the cheesecloth in her stomach. Because of this, Price ordered an x-ray to be conducted. So he's like, we're going to see this one way or another. At the sight of the machine, so she originally agreed to do it. When she saw this machine, she went into a trance and started freaking the fuck out. She was even punching her own husband in the face as he was like trying to talk her into getting into this x-ray.
She's like, finally, a reason I can get to just beat the shit out of him.
I mean, apparently she
not good.
did have a terrible temper. So,
Oh, yeah, you did say that.
And now she was like hysterical. She ran into the streets. A crowd gathered to watch the drama go down. Eventually, she did calm down and go back in the room and agree to the x-ray. But apparently at this point, the machine had been broken during all the chaos. So unfortunately...
She also punched the machine about 140, 150 times.
Somebody punched the machine. Not sure who it was. Price suspected that during all of this, she found a chance to regurgitate the cheesecloth and give it to her husband. So, like, after she knew it was out of her stomach, now she's going to go back in and agree to be x-rayed. And Price asked her husband to turn out his pockets, and he refused to do so. So he's kind of like...
Well, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Helen agreed to perform another seance for the team. And all this time, Price is like, why does she keep agreeing to do this? Like, she knows the jig is up, but keeps agreeing. I think part of the reason she agreed to do this is because, like, the people who believed in her weren't going to stop. And this was just giving her all kinds of extra publicity. So, you know, it was a win-win situation for everybody.
And it's like that Dr. Death personality type.
Totally.
I feel like.
Yeah, you just double down. And even if people knew she was a fake, they still wanted to see her show. She was famous.
Yeah.
At this time, before the seance, she went under a full medical examination. Once again, they didn't find anything, but during the seance, a piece of white ectoplasm came out of Helen's mouth. She allowed Price's team to cut off a piece of it for testing before she swallowed it back up. And testing concluded that it was, quote, merely a cheap, thin paper like a strip of toilet roll soaked in the white of egg and folded into a flattened tube.
What if when it came up, she was like, whew, thank God, something. I mean, see? I told you.
See, I told you. That was really funny for some reason. After the seance, Helen left London. But shortly after she left, Price was contacted by a woman who used to work for Helen as a maid. She told him that she used to be the one who had to go run the errands to buy muslin for Helen and that it looked identical to Price's samples. So there you go.
Well, if you didn't believe it now or didn't believe it then, now you should now.
Now you should. She also said, and this is gross, she said that Helen would give her pieces of cloth to wash after the seances and they had a rotten smell almost like urine.
Ew, just throw it away.
Yeah.
Don't. It's probably
Right. Why
cheap
are you
enough.
washing it?
If you're famous.
She has the money. She's got to. I don't know.
be
Maybe
nasty.
maybe fabric was expensive. Yeah, don't make someone wash that shit. That is gross.
And also you have to re-swallow it.
Yeah, that's
your
true.
show.
Yeah, and you know that they weren't doing a good job washing things back then, right?
No, everything was disgusting.
You're just soaking it in arsenic, and then she was swallowing it back
it was
up.
good to go. Good luck, green lady.
Right. So Helen's ectoplasm was obviously fake, as was other mediums' ectoplasm. And for the most part, work by ectoplasm and physical mediumship is mostly a thing of the past. It was kind of confined to this about 100-year period, but it's not entirely gone. A few months ago, I watched a show on Netflix called Surviving Death, and there's 2 episodes in the series on mediums. And in this episode, it was so wild. They go to like a medium, like they have this like house where they do these seances, and like the lead medium does ectoplasm work and also like has spirit guides and like talks in their voices. And there's like all this footage of her like doing her seances, and it's fucking wild. Like, it's nuts. You guys gotta go watch it. So this practice is not completely gone. There's still people that do it and still people that believe in it. And it's very interesting. So
how do you
check it
still
out.
believe in it after all this? Like, I could see
don't know.
performing it as an art.
Right. And it's weird, like they interview this woman and she seems so sincere, but like obviously there's just no way, and it's just wild. Definitely go watch it because I was shook by that episode. I was like, this is the wildest thing I've ever seen in my life.
What's the name of the show again?
It's called Surviving Death.
Okay.
And there's like episodes on like reincarnation and like near-death experiences, stuff like that. But then there's like a couple episodes on mediums, and those are the wild ones. But that, definitely go watch that. And that was my lesson on ectoplasm. Happy October.
Oh my gosh. It was disgusting and I loved it.
Me too. So my sources were the Ectoplasm Wikipedia page, Heron Gallagher's Wikipedia page, Encyclopedia Britannica, Ectoplasm and Spirits in the Material World by L. Ann Delgado, The Bizarre Exploits of Helen Duncan, Ectoplasm Producing Medium and Britain's Last Witch by Ashley of Curious Archive, and the publicdomainreview.org. Thanks, bitches.
All right, I'm not ready to stop talking about our cocktail event. Our live party is really what it was.
Yeah, it was really, really fun.
It was super fun, especially for someone who is, an introverted extrovert. I don't always look forward to social gatherings, but I always find myself like counting down the days to hang out with our Night Classy listeners, fans, Patreons, like just all of our people who I feel like we're all on the same page. Like we're all cool.
Yeah, definitely. Before our last cocktail hour, it's at 8 p.m. and I was tired, and I was like, you know what? Like if we didn't have this cocktail hour, I would be in bed and that would be nice. But we did the cocktail hour and it turned out to be so fun, and we stayed on for like 2.5 hours just having fun with everyone, and it's just nice to be around like-minded people and in that community. So
yeah, and to meet new people if you're into that kind of thing, or just to hang back and enjoy the presence of other people if you're not so social yourself. Like there's plenty of conversation going on.
Oh, definitely. Like whether you're comfortable being on camera or just typing in the chat, like either way is good. We want you there. So if you want to take part in our cocktail hour, you can go to patreon.com/nightclassy or follow the link in our show notes and become a part of the fun.
We hope you do. We thank you so much for listening, and we hope to see you at our next cocktail hour on October 29th at 8 p.m. Central.
See ya.
Bye. Hey, Kat.
Hey, Hayley.
What's better than Valentine's Day?
Pretty much every other holiday.
Yeah, that's true. Specifically, what holiday?
Halloween.
Halloween, yes. But did you know that Halloween used to be the OG romantic holiday?
No, tell me more.
Yes, it did. So pulled straight from Atlas Obscura, I have a quote to start us out here. Quote, Scottish youth sneak onto farms or into their neighbors' gardens at midnight, blindfold each other, pull stalks of kale from the ground, then read them, analyzing their length and girth, the quality of their cores and taste, and the amount of dirt caked into them to divine what kind of partner they'll marry on Halloween.
I just don't like that they're eating kale because that's gross.
Well, it wasn't always a superfood. For a long time, singles in Scotland went out to pick kale to figure out what their future love life had in store. The amount of dirt on the kale root indicated the size of a dowry or fortune one could expect in marriage. And this tradition went on in the 1800s until the early 1900s.
Is it being done by men or women?
All people. They were really into kale, okay?
Wow.
They dug it, literally. In the British Isles around Halloween, it was just kale fucking everywhere.
Are you fucking with me right now?
I'm not fucking with you right now.
I didn't even know, like, this is so dumb, but I didn't realize kale existed until it was, like, used under, like, the Pizza Hut.
Yeah.
Like,
Neither did
yeah.
Okay, well, I wasn't in that category of kale realization, but
I just don't understand why you would eat it. I just don't like kale. I'm sorry.
yeah, I mean, I couldn't pick it out. Like if it was mixed into a salad,
You couldn't pick it out.
well, I could pick it out. Like I know what it looks like, but
It's like thick like leather. I don't
Yeah.
mind kale when it's cooked. Like I'll eat like a kale soup or kale chips, but like when people give me a kale salad and it's raw fucking kale, no ma'am.
I'll eat it. If I'm eating a salad, I might as well eat anything at that point, honestly.
But there's so many better options. Give me some
have a
spinach.
Caesar
Give me
salad.
some arugula. Why kale?
Load me up on ranch. Oh, that's what I want. Give me the croutons. I'm going to work out every
just
3
give
months.
me a bowl of croutons with like some ranch to
I
dip
want
them
some
in.
ranch soup. Topped up with crouton. When we were younger, my parents loved to tell this story about our one neighbor who was very bizarre. He was a husband, a dad, and our families apparently went to a Mexican restaurant one night and he ordered some queso. And everyone's like, cool, he got queso for the
Oh
table.
no,
Like,
did he eat it?
hell yeah.
with the spoon?
He asked for a spoon and ate it like soup. The whole thing.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
What?
Weird.
Did he know it wasn't soup?
I don't know. That question haunts me to this day because I was probably in 2nd grade. I don't remember, but that story has been told to me so many times.
I like to imagine that he got like a bowl of chips with a queso in the middle and he chose not to eat the chips. He just went straight for the spoon.
No, they served it in like a little like bowl type deal, and the chips were in their own little separate basket.
Okay.
So he
thought
like,
it was a side dish.
he thought
the
it
chips.
was an appetizer.
Oh my God.
You
That
know,
is
like you're at
bad.
Olive Garden.
Bottomless queso soup.
Yeah, I mean, I will shame you for eating a whole bowl of soup with a spoon. Not bowl of soup, a whole bowl of queso. I will encourage you eating a whole bowl of queso with chips.
Oh yeah, for some reason the chips make it better.
different.
And also like I've had like a cheese, like beer cheese soup, like you like cheesy
Yeah.
potato soup. Like I feel like that is pretty much the same thing, but not at all. Like
No, but like a Mexican queso is just cheese with like some pepper.
Yeah.
in there.
I mean,
just cheese,
I
maybe some
would-
milk.
I that's gross, but like I could eat a bowl of melted cheese.
Well, there's that. So back to the kale. They would hang kale, specifically females would hang kale over their doors at night. They would place it under their pillow the next night after that to, quote, prompt prophetic dreams so that they could see their future lover. And any children of a family who desired a sibling could place kale outside of their parents' door to, you know, kind of push their parents to make them a sibling.
Because kale is such a well-known aphrodisiac.
Yes, I'm like, there are way more effective ways to get the job done.
Yeah, just go to your room at night and not get in your mom and dad's bed. That'll help.
Go to bed at 4 p.m.
Yeah.
As soon as dad gets home at 5. Make sure you don't ask for dinner too, because if mama has to make dinner, all
She's
bets are
tired.
off.
Yeah. She ate too much queso and she's bloated.
Kale so.
Elsa.
Irish families would stick charms into a mash called coconut.
Colcannon.
Colcannon. Yes, thank you. It's going to make a QAnon joke, but
Colcannon.
Colcannon. No, this is different. This is a modern era
okay.
coconut.
My bad.
Colcannon, made up of potato, cabbage, kale, and onion. And this dish was served on Halloween. Whoever found a ring charm would be married within the next year. And whoever found the thimble charm would be a spinster. Oh, to be single and have your own income and not have to spend it on anyone else.
But you wouldn't because you're in like the 1700s.
damn it, we can't win.
Can't.
Well, just make your own ectoplasm and
There you go.
you'll find your way.
That's the way to fortune.
It is, as we've seen. Women would also scoop the last spoonful of their colcannon.
It's really good. Have you ever had it?
I don't think so, but possibly and not have known it.
It's basically just mashed potatoes with cabbage and onions. It's like stinky mashed potatoes, but it's really good.
I've probably had it. My grandma was a big, I mean, she was Irish, big
Irish
cook.
woman.
So yeah. So probably, but who knows? They would scoop it into a stocking, their last bite, and they would hang it over their doorway. And supposedly the first man to walk under it was to be her husband.
Instead of mistletoe, we're hanging stinky sacks of mashed potatoes above our door to rot.
Instead of mistletoe, we're letting our cat's puke mummify.
That's 100% what that was. I love how you're like, it's like the mystery of the brown slime. It's cat vomit.
It did not look like cat vomit. I mean, who knows how long it's been there. But all I'm saying is that Tommy is the one that cat puke verified. All right, enough about that. If you had more of a sweet tooth, the Irish would also use cakes to tell the future. If you found a pea in your cake, you would be in an unhappy marriage. You'd still get married, but you would not be happy. And if you found a ring, it meant you'd be married within the year. Now, the origin of kale as a modern supernatural food is unclear.
Hold up. Is this a lesson on kale? Or
It's a
Halloween?
lesson on Halloween romance.
Okay.
Because it was truly very closely connected with romantic activities for quite a while. I'm looking for one of the pictures. Well, I just added a picture of a painting that this guy did. And since the slide was deleted, I don't know what the artist's name was. But here's a Scottish lad.
He looks
Holding
like
kale.
a werewolf.
Yeah, as you can see,
Very
there are
hairy.
like tears almost in his eyes. He looks like he's on the verge of just breaking down.
Yeah, he looks like that bundle of kale is like the last thing holding him to reality. Yeah.
He's holding the kale. I'm not sure if you noticed or not, there's a candle at the end of it. There were whole parades dedicated to kale around Halloween and like romance and the mystical features of Halloween.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was his little parade spear, and he's holding his little kale with a candle. The first evidence we have of kale stealing, the ritual in Scotland, is from a 1769 travelogue, so it surely has happened before then. But kale-based rituals were all fun and games about matchmaking, and less so about actual real like magical beliefs. Kale was really easy to grow. It's plentiful for residents in Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. And basically it's just really fucking easy to blindfold your friend and point them towards the biggest, girthiest stalk of kale. Now, immigrants brought the kale traditions to America in the early 1900s, but they quickly turned into a more family-friendly holiday as people wanted to make Halloween a systemized and respectable Victorian tradition. They swapped kale for costumes and baby making for candy. Halloween became a fun time for children and for pranks, and they kind of left love and kale behind. But it wasn't long until Halloween became associated with love again in the early 1900s. There were certain societal expectations, for how women were supposed to act.
Yeah.
You were supposed to, be good and smile. And
Be a good girl. For
don't
daddy.
Don't be a spinster. But Halloween kind of opened up the doors for women to engage in less socially accepted activities. So first of all, kale is out. Apples are in. Snag apple was a game that required participants to use only their teeth to bite an apple that was hung from the ceiling. First one to bite the apple would be the first to marry. Now, for the daredevils, a different version of the game existed in which the apple was stuck with a spear, and at the other end, a lit candle was on the other end of the stick, and they would have to bite it that way.
What?
I have pictures, Alec, if you want to pull it up here.
Oh, God. Oh, no. Yeah, it's hard to describe. There's like a thing impaling the apple. The apple's on one side, the candle's on the other. They're both hanging from a thread. And so the apple and the candle are flying around in the air. And you could bite the apple or you could get your eyebrows burned off.
Yeah, basically, that's what love is. Either you're going to get the chunk of the apple or you're going to get burned.
That's so stupid.
The next picture, Alec, if you want to go to it, shows apple spear where they had like the sharp stuff at the end, and you have these couples. It was a way to, from what I can infer, get close to the person you wanted to.
Yeah,
suck
you
face
can
with.
both bite the apple at the same time, and like you're almost kissing.
Yeah. Bobbing for apples was also popular and still disgusting. Mm-hmm. If you were successful on your first attempt, it meant that your true love reciprocated your feelings. If you failed several times, I feel like most people do.
Yeah, bobbing for apples is pretty much impossible.
I've done it one time and hated it.
It's gross.
It's disgusting.
It's gross. And you have to put your
Yeah.
face in water, and your reward is an apple?
No, I would bob for wine.
Yeah.
Like little sacks of wine.
or little individual serving bottles of wine.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what
and
I would
that would
bob
be
for.
easy to pull out. An apple is hard to bite. You have to like pin it against the side to bite it.
Yeah. It's not worth it.
Uh-huh.
You just find out what happens to you in your love life by living life.
Yeah.
They were not into it.
Stupid.
So if you failed, like most people do, you'd probably end up settling, or it was a sign that you should move on from the person you're currently with. Can you imagine?
What if you just like dumped your boyfriend at the Halloween party after you failed at bobbing for apples?
What if your boyfriend dumped you after you repeatedly failed to get the apple the first time?
Like, no, babe, I just don't have teeth because they're all rotted off because this is 1800.
He's just crying. You don't have teeth. Oh my God. The first time I ever did bob for apples was at a 7th grade party, which is when, I mean, I'm still awkward, but it was extremely awkward, like most people are in 7th grade. And I was dating this guy. Like, I talked to him never whilst we were dating. Before that, I was like, we were friends. But like, once we started dating,
No, that's when the talking stops.
no.
You like hug each other for a millisecond in the hallway between classes.
Yeah,
That's
after
it.
school,
Yeah.
you walk to the bus together. Like,
Yeah.
that's it. But there's a hysterical picture I'm sure I could find where the mom whose house this was taken at took a picture of everyone all dressed up in their Halloween costumes. And there is like a 3-foot divide between me and him. And it's like the group is split because it's so awkward. It's so perfect. I love it so much.
What are you dressed up as?
An 80s prom queen. I wore one of my mom's dresses from prom and
That's
did my hair
fun.
really big. Yeah.
What is he?
He didn't dress up.
Oh,
So I should have broken up with
loser.
him there.
Yeah, you should have known before you even bobbed for apples that he's not the one.
I should have fucking known.
Yeah.
Well, the apples told me the truth. They
Good.
opened my eyes
I'm
because I failed. It's
about time.
I don't even know why I did it. Seems dumb now and unsanitary.
Yeah, disgusting.
Another version of bobbing for apples was for the ladies to mark an apple with like their name or symbol or some shit, and they would drop it in the tank, and whoever got her apple was to be her partner for the night.
That's fun. I like that.
I like that too. Like if I don't have to do any work,
Right.
but I can still be involved in the fun.
Definitely. Like I just have to carve my initials into an apple. You have to put your mouth in the petri dish and get it out.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. What would be if you did a symbol into an apple instead of like your name? What would your symbol be?
A moon.
A moon. Okay.
What about you?
Probably just like 69.
Love it.
When did 69 become a thing?
I don't know. We should do a night classy on it.
Should do a night classy on it. That'd be awesome. You could make a romantic game out of pretty much anything, and you still can. People would cut long strands from apple skin and toss it over their shoulder. And the way that the peel landed was thought to resemble the initial of a potential suitor. So that is one way that people would like seek out their future spouse. There's the next slide has pictures on it. There are a shit ton of postcards that show all of these romantic holiday or Halloween holiday traditions.
Wow.
So basically it's just Big Apple propaganda. You could also eat an apple or just hold a candle in front of a mirror, and the image of your soulmate was supposed to appear just in time to ask for the last bite.
Oh.
Yes, there's the next slide has pictures of that.
That's from my Bloody Mary episode. That one.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Is it from it or is it in it?
It was in it.
Okay. Yeah. So lots of apples. If a woman saw a skull in place of a handsome face, it would mean that they would die before they ever got married. So spinster syndrome.
Bummer.
And this activity was often done on Halloween at midnight. How many seeds were in your apple also gave you insight into your love life. I have a poem here from the Kitty's Halloween book from 1931. I should have brought apples for us to test it, but oh well. Here's the poem. One seed shows you'll get a letter. 2, a dish you're going to break. 3 seeds, you'll hear some good news. 4, a ride you soon will take.
Ooh.
Dirty girl. 5, you'll be disappointed. 6, you're going to meet a new friend. 7 brings you a surprise. 8, some money you will spend. 9 shows there's pleasure coming. 10, you'll have something to wear. 11, you will take a trip. 12, some good luck you will share. 13 seeds, you'll have a fright. 14, your future days are bright.
Oh, wow.
So we've had a lot of apple-themed lessons the past 3 weeks.
Wait, what was another one?
Johnny Appleseed.
Oh, yeah. You just love apples.
I just fucking love apples,
An apple
man.
bitch.
I'm a big apple bitch. I'm not even going to
hoe for apples.
Hoe for apple butter.
Ooh, yeah.
That is
that's
some
true.
good shit.
That
I
is.
haven't had that in a long time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to get some apple butter. Okay, this last part is my favorite part of this romantic holiday Halloween shit. Okay, nuts were also a big part of Halloween traditions. So much so that Halloween was also referred to as Nutcrack Night.
Oh, God. Nutcrack.
That's the only reason. One tradition of Nutcrack Night involved putting 2 chestnuts over a fire, and each chestnut represented a partner in a couple. And the results would give you insight as to how strong your relationship was. So if the nuts were closed and they burned brightly, it was a strong couple. But if either one of them cracked or popped, you were fucked. You're fucked in a bad way.
Aren't chestnuts supposed to crack and pop? It's like, I'm going to microwave this bag of popcorn. If it pops, I guess we're not meant to be.
Yeah, it's like the opposite of what you should do.
Yeah.
Like everyone that does pop is a good egg or a good nut, I should
It's
say.
just like somebody wanted to dump their girlfriend but didn't have the balls. So they're just like, honey, like there's this ancient tradition. If these chestnuts pop, 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 pop,
pop, pop, pop.
we have to break up. I don't make the rules.
I don't make the rules.
Yeah.
There's somebody else better for you. It's not me. Like, I don't want to break up, but it's in the nuts.
I want the best for you. That's how much I love you, and I'm not the best for you.
If you love it, let it go. I'm letting you go. Our chestnuts popped.
You're welcome.
When I was researching, I was like, damn, no wonder like boomers and the silent generation are so fucked up. Like,
Because they got married based on an apple.
Yeah, either they are these people or they were raised by these people. But also, we do a lot of dumb shit too.
Oh, for
but
sure.
you know, our kids are
Yeah.
going to be fucked up in different ways, such as like there's going to be no climate because we're all going to be dead. Permanent sunburn.
Pick your adventure. Yeah.
Yeah, now it's like I found my husband because of the CoStar app.
Yeah.
Okay. Another tradition for Nutcrack Night was for a single person to write their names of their crushes on hazelnuts. And they would toss the nuts into the fire, and the nut that burned the brightest instead of popping was a match made in nut heaven.
And then you have to pull it out and see whose it was.
Yeah, I guess so. Maybe you could like tie little ribbons to them.
Yeah.
Make it really cute.
Have you ever had chestnuts?
I don't think so.
Me either. I only hear about them in Christmas carols, and it makes me really want one, but I imagine they're not good.
There should be Halloween carols because Halloween was legit just all about romance for a long time.
Just telling Alec how I wish there was Halloween music besides Monster Mash, because I would love
too.
to listen to Halloween music all of October, but there's none.
Well, I think there is some. It's just not popular.
Just not what you want to listen to. But like,
Yeah.
like Christmas music's so fun because you get in the spirit of Christmas. I want to get in the spirit of Halloween.
Somebody make it happen. This is
Please.
a call to action.
Can I make a really stupid joke when you asked
Yes.
if you should pull out the chestnut? I was going to joke that you never pull out when you're nutting.
Oh,
I'm going to have to edit that out.
no, leave it. I have a horse girl moment. Horses have these things called chestnuts that grow on their leg, and it's like
Ew.
a giant crusty like scab toe that keeps growing, and you have to like peel it off every once in a while.
Ew,
It's
but
called a
also
chestnut.
I kind of want to do it.
Yeah, it's satisfying.
That's like, I love getting the calluses off my feet.
It's like that. It's like
Oh
a
my
callus.
gosh, let me
Yeah.
grate that cheese because I'm here for it. All right, one last one. It is said that if someone gets engaged on the night of Halloween, the couple will be inseparable and enjoy an everlasting love.
I love the idea of getting engaged on Halloween.
Me too.
I love the idea of getting married on Halloween and making your wedding a costume party.
Yes.
Wouldn't that
My
be fun?
aunt and uncle got married on Halloween.
That's awesome.
And I just think that would be so perfect because as a kid, I was like, that's so dumb. Why would you do that? Literally, that's so fucked
because
up.
as a kid, you feel like you're getting robbed of Halloween.
Yeah,
So
but
that
as an
sucks.
adult, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Get your neighbor to take your kid trick-or-treating and then you go out dressed up as whatever the F you want
Yeah.
and drink at a wedding.
That sounds way better.
Best case scenario.
Yeah, I guess it is sad for the kids. That's
Crack
like
your nuts.
I had a girl come into my class this morning and she's like, Miss Barnhart, I had to go to a wedding this weekend. Ugh. I was like, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why people complain when people don't let kids into their weddings.
Because then they have to pay for a babysitter.
Well, it's awful for the
Yeah.
kid. Like,
oh yeah,
no
the kids
one-
don't want to be at a fucking
No.
wedding. Yeah.
God, no. There
No.
will be no kids at my wedding. No. Sorry. Not sorry. Well, anyway, like I said, you all should look up some of these postcards for Halloween from the late 1800s / early 1900s.
Yeah, they're really cool.
And I just thought it was funny because a lot of them wish people to have a lucky Halloween.
Interesting.
Wink, wink, if you know what
Oh,
I mean.
I know what you mean.
You know what I mean.
I'm the, what is it? Getting what you're putting out.
Getting what I'm putting out, picking
Yeah.
up what I'm putting
Picking
down.
up what you're putting down.
That's like, do you remember that girl who went viral for like fighting another girl? What's her name? Bad Baby, where she was like,
yeah.
what is it?
Catch me outside. How about that?
Yeah. We were on a trip. I was with one of my friends and we were in Mexico. So obviously we were lit and she was trying to say that and she goes, "Take me outside. What's up?" Take me
my
outside. What's up? And that was said for the rest of the trip. It's something we say in my dad's house because I told him about it and now everyone in the house
That
says
is
it.
so funny.
Take me outside. What's
Okay,
Okay, well, my sources are an article in Atlas Obscura by Mark Hay called Scottish Singles Used to Spend Halloween Picking Kale, an article in The Tempest by Sharanya Palraj. Boo! Halloween used to be about finding true love on the New York Times by Niraj Chosky, and Messy Nessie Chic by Shanna Farley.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was fantastic. I loved that.
Good.
That's so fun. Well, thank you for that amazing lesson. And thank you guys for listening. Don't forget to join us on October 29th at 8 p.m. Central Time. And once again, thank you for being here. We love you. Please remember to rate, review, and subscribe. Tell a friend. And maybe even check out our Patreon and follow us on social media. Thank you again. We love you. And good night. Happy October. 3, 2, 1.
Class dismissed.